And we are back with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be bringing you 3 attacks from 2 different wars that we just had. 3 Town Hall 10 attacks using Zap Dragon. It is a crazy, sick, OP attack. I highly, highly recommend all you Town Hall 10s definitely try this. And maybe some of you 11s and 12s, 13s, try it as well. But we're going to get into the Town Hall 10 action. So sit tight, buckle up, stay tuned, and enjoy this. Okay, so this is the first base that we're going to show, but before I get into it, let me first talk a little bit about the Zap Drag. Well, first of all, if you take a look on screen, you can see the army comp. This is the army comp that I use. There are some people in the clans, Bergs and Carlton, they're all using the Zap Drag also, and they're using it a little different to bring in some cleanup, to bring in some baby Ds. I'm going full force. I'm using a couple of few dragons for the funnel. I try to make a funnel from inside out, and I'll try to explain to you like this. But first of all, let's get into the army comp. What do we got here? First of all, we got 4 loons, we got 11 drags, we got a slammer. The slammer becomes the most important part of the attack the way that I do it. And then, of course, you have your spells, which I guess are probably a little bit more important than the actual slammer. But what I do, me personally, what I do is I choose 3 ear defenses to take out. And how do I decide which ones I'm going to take out? Well, I base them on priorities. My biggest priority that I want to look for is taking out, if I could take out the queen, that's definitely, if there's a queen that's hanging around by an air defense and I could take that one, I'm definitely taking that one. Next priority that I look for is sweepers. I'll zap an AD that's next to a sweeper. If I could take out a sweeper with an AD, then I'm definitely taking out that AD as well. After that, I look for an AD that is surrounded by ear targeting defenses, archer towers, whiz towers, expos, something like that. Something that I could zap and just remove some defenses off of the map. And then lastly, if I don't have any, then I will take an AD that is just around some regular defenses. So at least my loons won't have to make that stop and hang out by, the defenses, and they can move on to the more important ones. So let's talk how I do this. I mentioned before that the slammer is very, very important with the way that I am attacking. And let me explain why. What I'm doing is I am using, well, let me show you what I did over here. Or, you know what, let's play it out, and while it's playing, I'll talk about while I'm doing it. I'm going to pause it. On the first one, I will be pausing it while it's playing so I can really explain what I'm trying to do. I start off with my dragons to create a... first we zap. Zapping goes first. We zap that one because that one was near the queen. I zap this one over, come on, Avi, get those zaps down. I zapped that one over there because it was near a sweeper. I zapped this one over there because it was surrounded by a lot of defenses. And then the last one, I leave that last one. Now we start with the dragons. I want to create the funnel. So I put a dragon on the outside over there. This is the dragon over there that's going to create the funnel and allow the starting to make the funnel over there. Then I put my king down to tank for the dragon that's next to it. Okay, so that dragon is he's starting to clear, and then I put my queen behind it. So now let's take a look at what's going on over here. Now comes the important part. Now I know I want to enter the base in through here, so I get my slammer there, and very important, you have to find a defense that is up against the wall, because if you do not have a base that has defenses up against the wall, you're not going to get the slammer to get your heroes inside. I want to get my heroes inside this base. After I do that, now you see what's going on here? I have a funnel that's been created. This is the only thing that's in the middle. So then I send my loons, my remaining dragons and my loons into the core. My queen is usually coming in behind it, and she's helping out, taking down the stuff. And then my dragons just move through the base and take out everything. You have two spells. You have a rage spell and you have a haste spell. You use your haste spell where you think you can get the most out of it. There's not much that you could do with that one haste spell. Over there I use it to get those dragons moved in, and I also had some loons coming in from the backside. I wanted to just get something. With the rage, you drop your rage in a place where your dragons can do the most damage, preferably in the core, but as you can see, you'll notice, I believe it's on the next attack that I used it because a Tesla farm just popped up before I got a chance to get my troops inside, so I used the rage spell over there. But this is the first attack. Next one I'll show you will be a little bit different, idea of doing a funnel and a little bit different of the way that I get my dragons to travel. And then on the last one, I'll show you an attack that I did from the Little Playhouse War, and that I actually had to hit up and go 10v11. I mean, it wasn't a great 11, but it was a 10v11. So that will be the last attack we'll show. Let's get into attack number. Okay, so here we are on base number 2, and let's take a look together at the four ear defenses on the board, and I'll try and explain what was going through my mind, why I chose these 4. And I gave you the rules just a second ago. We talked about how I decide which ones I'm gonna take out. So we said rule number 1 was an ear defense that's next to a queen. That one I would always take out. There is no ear defense next to the queen. The queen is over there, and all the ear defenses are on the back end. One thing let me talk about before we talk about I could say it later. Next rule was an ear defense that is surrounded by a bunch of defenses, ear targeting defenses. Well, we have one that falls into that category. That's this one over here. So this one is definitely going down. Next one. What was the next rule? The next rule was an ear defense that, rule number 2 is an ear defense next to a sweeper. We don't have any of those. Rule number 3 was an ear defense that's next to a lot of defenses. That one applies over there. So that one we're definitely taking out. This one is surrounded by two other ear targeting defenses, but because they are a little bit stronger defenses, you will not be able to take them out with your zap. So, but I did go after this one also because at the very least, it softens up the defenses and gives your dragons, instead of having to hit them 3 times, they'll only have to hit them once, hopefully. So that one I took out. And rule number 4 is just defenses around it. So that's what we're left with. We're left with 2 other defenses, either this one or this one that I had to decide on. I chose this one because this one has an archer tower next to it, as opposed to this one where I would only be able to zap and take out the bomb tower and the cannon. So those are the 3 ear defenses I chose. Now, next thing, you want to look at when you're deploying your troops, you want to look at the sweepers. If you notice, I got sweepers pointing that way, and sweeper pointing that way. So one thing which you never ever want to do is you never want to fight the sweepers. Don't fight the sweepers with your ear targeting troops. Always try and come in behind the sweepers. Go with the flow of the sweepers so you're taking them out, or at the very least, even if you're missing them, they're pushing you towards the things that you want to go towards. As instead of if you're coming this way, you're constantly being pushed back, pushed back, pushed back. So I had to come in from the opposite side. Normally, you would like to target those ear defenses as soon as possible. You have all your troops in the beginning of the raid, so ideally you want to take out your ear defenses in the beginning. But here I had to save the ear defense for the end. Now, let's talk about, so I already told you how we decide which ear defenses you're taking down, and we talked about how you're supposed to come in going with the flow of the sweepers as opposed to going against the flow of the sweepers. Now, the other thing that we talked about in the previous attack, we talked about how you're supposed to get into the base, how I try to get into the base. Well, I looked at this base over here, and normally I don't like to go after the CC right away. But on this base over here, I wanted to take care of the queen, and I knew I had to come in from this side of the base. So let me show you how I did it. Let's press the play button, and we'll talk about it while it's going on. I start off, well, we got to start off with the ADs. We could fast forward through the AD kills. Oh, it's going quick enough. Take down the 3 ear defenses. Took the last one down with the archer tower over there. And now we start flying. If you notice, there's no ear targeting defenses over here. So I drop my first dragon right over there. I get the dragon down. My king is the initial tank. I allow the king to tank. The king is tanking for the slammer. And then the other dragons and the slammer are all tanking for the queen. The queen is my last line of defense. I want her to moving through. I see the CC comes out. I see the queen over there. And I see a Tesla farm. So I use my rage right away. Now, once I used my rage right away, I knew that my troops were flying, my slammer's done. I knew it's not opening anything up in the base, so now I have to do a good old-fashioned Town Hall 8 dragon attack, sending them in a line through this base and just having them just all go through this base properly. And that is pretty much it. I ended up, let's watch it in double speed and show you that Town Hall 10 versus Town Hall 11 on the next attack. But the troops just move through nice and slowly, moving through the base, taking down the stuff. Again, the last thing that was standing up was that AD. But at this point, there was no air targeting defenses on this base except for that one AD. Had my last dragons come over and they go over and take that AD down and take down the rest of the stuff. Let's quadruple speed this, see the army comp, see that triple, and move on to the 10v11 for the perfect war. Okay, so here is the 10v11. This is the 10v11, and let's talk about the air defenses. Let's talk about which ones I took out, and if I did go according to my own rules or I didn't go according to my own rules. Now again, these are my own rules that I just made up. I mean, this is a new thing I haven't seen really anybody talk about. So if you agree with these, let me know. If you disagree, also let me know. I'm not going to argue with you. I'd like to hear what you say, and I'll think about it, and maybe I'll, change the way that I do things. But for right now, I've been having huge success. So right now, I'm going to stick with it. So I said rule number 1 is always take out an ear defense if you could take out the queen. There is an ear defense over here that is next to the queen, and I did not take it out. Spoiler alert, that is the ear defense that I left up. Why did I leave it up? I left it up because this ear defense over here, if I would have fired right over here, I could get my queen. I could get the opposing queen, and I could take down the air defense, and I could take down an archer tower, and I could take down a bomb tower. Why didn't I? We'll talk about that in a second. That's the one I left. But let's look at the other ones. I took down this one over here because this is next to a sweeper. I took down this one over here because this is next to a sweeper. Where's the 4th AD? The 4th AD, I took this one over here because this is in the midst of 3 other air targeting defenses. So I left the one that was by the queen, and that's actually my rule number 1. So why didn't I? Well, I didn't because this is a Town Hall 11 base, and as you want to say whatever you want to say about this base, rushed, whatever, it does have an eagle. And you need to address that eagle ASAP. So because the eagle was over there, I knew I wanted to get my queen into this section over here. So therefore, once I was already getting my queen into that section, I said, you know what? I'll leave that air defense there, and I'll take out that air defense. My dragons were going to be coming over here on these things over here. I knew that. So I knew the queen wasn't going to be an issue anyway, and it's only a level 30 queen. So now let's hit the play button, and we'll talk about how this attack went down. Let's see the zapping first, and I'll try and show you. You'll see it's exactly the same way. You always want to make sure that you find that spot to drop your slammer on so you can get your heroes inside behind the dragons. You have no idea how much work your queen does behind the dragons. If the dragons are tanking for that queen, there are raids that literally my queen and king last the whole way through without having to use the abilities. King you got to use the abilities sometimes, but the queen, a lot of the time, goes through without having to use the abilities. So there's my dragons, there's my king, helping out, clearing those other defenses, setting that funnel. That's the important part. The queen is now in that big spot over there that I need her to gate, so she can take down that eagle if needed. That's the spot where I drop the rage. Now, as you can see, the queen, I think, is she the one that stepped up? I dropped the remainder of my troops to get the remainder of my dragons with my loons to get into my core, get into the core. I have enough stuff on the sides, on the flanking sides, on the right flank, on the left flank to deal with it. You want to get those dragons, funnel them into the core, and move them through. With the queen behind them, look at this queen. She's behind. Yes, she is getting targeted. I'm not sure. I think I probably should have used my ability there. If I used my ability there, then the Expo would have switched on to something else, and my queen would have basically been at full health just without her ability. But she did, in fact, take down that Expo, and she does come around afterwards. She's got her little archeros there. The archeros are taking that opposing king, and at this point, I mean, I still got those CC loons in there, or my own loons in there. The dragons are moving through. This base was toasted. Like an everything bagel. But let's fast forward through this. Again, see the triple, see the army comp. And this war is actually still going on. Very long war search. This is an LP for all you Town Hall 9s. If you know how to war, if you're looking for a place to war, come on over. Hang out with us. Town Hall 9s, Town Hall 8s. We only carry 2 Town Hall 10s in this. One is mine, one is Carlton's. It's a perfect war. I don't want to jinx it, but I got to tell you, just because, I mean, Carlton just told me about it. We are currently sitting on a 11 war perfect streak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 11 war perfect streak. So if you are Town Hall 9, Town Hall 8, and you know what you're doing, and you'd like to war, we war 3 times a week, then definitely go into the Recruitment Center, Recruitment Server. I got the link down there. Come in there and tell them you're looking to war with us in LP. That's going to be the end of this video. Thank you very much for hanging out till the end. For all those of you who haven't hit that sub button, make sure you hit that sub button. Got notifications on so you can be alerted for the daily uploads that I'm trying to do. If you like this, make sure you hit the like button and leave me a comment down below if there's something specific that you'd like to see, or leave me a comment. Let me know if you're using this attack, if you're having fun with this attack, if you think this attack needs to be nerfed, if you think it should be buffed. Just talk to me. I love talking to people. But that's gonna be the end of the video. Thank you very much, and until the next video, have a super great day.